The moment I saw the bruise on her back, I knew I couldn't let it go. He laid his hands on her once, and with just one phone call, I made sure he'd lose everything. If you've ever wanted to serve justice on behalf of someone too hurt to fight back, you're in the right place. Hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready for one of the most satisfying and savage acts of revenge you'll hear today. Back when the internet still felt like the Wild West, and I was just another broke student trying to survive junior college, I moved in with my girlfriend to save money. Let's call her Lucy. She was everything you'd want in a partner. Fun, smart, warm. We made it through school by splitting bills and microwave dinners. One night, she invited a classmate over for a board game night. I wasn't expecting much, but when the door opened, I recognized her friend immediately. Sara. We'd gone to high school together. Not close, but friendly. The kind of person who always had a smile that made you feel included. It was nice seeing a familiar face, and soon, she became a regular at our apartment. Dinner nights, movie marathons, game sessions. Sara was part of the crew. Then she brought her boyfriend. Let's call him Jay. From the second he walked in, everything changed. You ever meet someone who just sucked the air out of a room? That was Jay. He barely spoke. Didn't make eye contact. Sat there like a stone while everyone tried to include him. We all felt it. This guy didn't want to be there. He didn't want Sara to be there either. But she kept coming. We made sure she felt welcome, even if her boyfriend clearly didn't approve. Then came the night that changed everything. It was late. Lucy picked up her phone and her face fell instantly. "It's Sara," she said, voice tight. "She's crying." Within 20 minutes, Sara was on our couch, shaking, her face streaked with tears. Jay had accused her of cheating. No logic to it. Just jealousy, rage, and twisted accusations. She said he cornered her in their apartment, yelling, insulting her, calling her things that made my blood boil. Then, when she tried to leave, he shoved her. She stumbled, tripped over a coffee table, and went down hard, landed straight on her back. Lucy later told me about the bruise, purple, angry, stretched across her lower back and hips. Sara showed it to her when I wasn't around. I didn't need to see it. The fire was already lit. I'm not a fighter. Never have been. I'm a big guy. Yeah, but not violent. But that night, my hands were shaking. I wanted to drive to his place and end him. But I knew if I lost control, I'd be the one in handcuffs. So instead, I planned something worse. At the time, I worked as a student assistant in the college's administration building. I had access, real access, to every student's class schedule, ID numbers, tuition payments, course fees. All of it. It was a dangerous amount of access, especially in the hands of someone who had just seen a friend physically assaulted. And here's where it gets interesting. It just so happened that the final day to drop or add classes without penalty was coming up. That meant one call could change a student's entire semester. And Jay was a foreign student. If he wasn't enrolled in a minimum number of credits, he'd lose his student visa. You see where this is going. I logged into the system, looked up his ID, memorized the exact process I'd need to follow. Then, on the final day, when no one would question a schedule change, I walked into the admin building like it was any other day, picked up one of the dedicated enrollment phones, and dropped every single one of his classes. But I didn't stop there. I added every hyphy elective I could find, courses he'd never take, random dance electives, lab classes with hundreds in supply fees. I racked up a bill that would lock his account and stop him from getting transcripts, transferring credits, or even accessing his grades. And then I walked away. Did I know what would happen next? Not exactly, but I had a feeling. The following Tuesday, Sara came home smiling. "He's gone," she said. Apparently, they had one last class together. Sara had been dreading it, but something felt off that day. A new face stood at the back of the room. Jay walked in as usual and froze. There weren't enough chairs. The professor noticed. Called roll. Jay's name wasn't on the list. He tried to argue, but the teacher had the official roster. Jay, nowhere on it. A kid from the waitlist had taken his place. Sara never saw him in class again. I never told anyone what I did. Not Lucy. Not Sara. No one. But a few weeks later, I checked his schedule out of curiosity. Every single course? Gone. No replacements. No enrollment. No fees paid. Just empty. He wasn't just dropped. He was gone. Maybe he was expelled. Maybe he got deported. Maybe he had to start over at another school from scratch. Honestly, I don't know. And I don't care. Because Sara never had to sit in a room with her abuser again. And I got my revenge. Quietly. Completely. And without ever throwing a punch. He put his hands on her once, and paid for it with his future. The beauty of it, no one even knew who did it. There was no confrontation. No shouting match. No scars to show. Just a name erased from every record. And a girl who never had to flinch in class again. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't loud. It's not a fight. It's not a scream. It's a silent, calculated move that leaves your enemy wondering how everything fell apart and never knowing you were behind it. If that story hit you right in the soul, smash that like button. Comment below, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen or wish you could have taken? And don't forget to subscribe for more true stories where karma hits harder than any fist ever could.